And now, Jabroni Studios, in association with Big Herm Productions, is proud to present to you, recording from an undisclosed location in Oakdale, Connecticut. It's Chris Burns. It's Chris Lynch. This is Dysfunction Junction. Did I come in a
Welcome to
little hot on that?
You did come in a little hot on
All
that.
right, I was going by levels, and then I saw your head, so I adjusted.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
your level destroyed the back end of my skull like I'm John F. fucking Kennedy.
Well, good metal music's supposed to do that shit.
I know, and that's why I'm here to tell you guys. We are here from the seventh circle of hell, reporting on all the death that's fit to talk about. Plus, the most important and iconic mugshot ever in the history of ever was taken this week. Sit back, grab your favorite beverage. I have mine. Say to yourself, why am I here? What does this add to my life? And more importantly, why are you not as cool as us? Welcome to Dysfunction Junction.
Fuck yeah!
Fuck yeah!
That's what I was waiting for. Welcome, everybody, back to the show that never ends. My name is Chris Burns. With me, as always, is the co-host with the utmost.
Hi, Chris Lynch.
And, of course, the producer extraordinaire, the man with no hair, Big Herm, Michael P.S. Herman.
What is up, everybody?
Who, by the way, just got himself some new ink. Got to give him some credit.
I did.
You will not take off your shirt in front of people.
No, I won't. I have my youngest son was born 14 years ago. Okay. I have that's my baby boy. He's the favorite.
Boy.
He's the favorite, but I'm not allowed to say that.
I'll tell everybody.
He knows it, and all the other kids know it too. I just have to deny it, but the kid knows it, and it's just the way it is. I have Travis on my back, and I have a heart, and I have a tattoo with Michael's name on my back, and I've never had BL added, and it's always been something I've wanted to do. So we were at the Colorado State Fair last night, and one of the really good studios from here in town.
Wait a second. Whoa.
Yeah. I was telling him that, dude. I was like, dude, they're not even gonna fucking believe me when I tell them, like, basically, like, I was at the Big E and there was a 4-booth fucking studio, and they were whipping out they had 6 artists doing custom work right there. Like, that doesn't happen at the Big fucking E. Welcome to the Colorado State Fair.
Right? I mean, I couldn't go to the Woodstock Fair and get a tattoo, or the Brooklyn Fair, or if the Ledyard Fair existed anymore.
That was a Monday night, so there was only 2 artists. But on like Saturdays, Friday nights, Saturdays and Sundays, he said they have a full studio, 6 artists going bang. Like, just tattoos.
Full disclosure for all of you out there, Herm and I talked on the phone last night, and he tells me, toward the ass end of this conversation, we're in the heat of the moment talking about what we were talking about, and he's like, oh yeah, sorry, I can't hear you very well. I'm at the fair. I'm like, why'd you answer the phone if you're at the fair? You could have texted me back, said I'll call you in an hour. Back, get it? And you could have done all of that, but he's at the fair with a corn dog jammed up his ass, talking to me at the fucking fair.
Ooh,
dude, that's the fucked up part. We did all the shopping part, but we never got to the food because there was a deluge that happened. I went to the beer tent, then we shopped. Jen bought her stuff. I got the tattoo. We leave the tattoo studio inside and come outside. We're going to go eat. And it starts to sprinkle. And I'm thinking, all right, usually Colorado, it'll sprinkle. It'll rain for 5 minutes and go the fuck away. No. The skies opened up and dropped about 4 inches of rain in an hour. Jen and I walked through easily. We're talking about water that's rushing past us at like 20, 30 miles an hour down the street, a foot deep. It was just, holy Christ. I watched for 15 minutes as raindrops the size of quarters, not hail yet, just big fucking drops, blew sideways, like not even affected by fucking gravity, in 45 mile an hour winds. It was really intense. And finally I was like, fuck this. I'm going to the fucking car. And I got soaked and went to the car and stripped as much as I could. with the wet shit off and got to the house and stripped the rest. But we got soaked. She ordered a pizza, but I never got. We were on our way to the food midway area, the food midway, and we never made it. So I got the cool ink for the baby boy, and she got some pretty cool stuff for some skincare stuff, but that she wanted. But yeah, never ever got to go eat like the food. And I got to be honest, I make way better barbecue than I saw them slinging at that fucking fair. Next year, I'm gonna be a fucking millionaire.
What did you call yourself a year ago? The Ric Flair of the State Fair.
That's right, the Ric Flair of the State Fair. I'm gonna go there, and people are gonna beg for my shit after I've tasted what they're slinging there. It's horrible, horrible.
Wow.
I can't imagine it's like at least even restaurant quality. I mean, because you got to figure, even if it's good at, like, if it's a food truck that normally has a brick and mortar place.
Well, there was a barbecue place there, but it wasn't. They weren't smoking meats. It was just a giant fucking long ass grill that was like 30 feet long and a charcoal grill. That's grilling, bro. That's not barbecue.
It's
Where
different.
are you smoking meats? I want to fucking sling briskets. Just brisket on a brisket and pork belly on a stick.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds so good right now. Some nice
Pork
crispy-
belly with a big fat stick. The pork belly on a
nom, nom, nom,
stick.
nom, nom.
Yeah, there it is. That's all I'm gonna sell. Pork belly on a stick. Lose my shit. That's it. Done. One product. Clean the fuck out.
So I was watching this. I don't even know what food show it was, but I saw something that reminded me of your cigars that you make. I was like, oh man, I could go for like a whole,
Shotgun shells.
I could go for an entire tray of those right now.
Oh man,
I'm like every time I see something like that, I'm like, oh, I miss her.
Oh,
Aww.
that's the
My,
best.
oh, actually, my stomach goes. And then I think, yeah, her.
well, yeah. I mean, when it comes to food, there are few that can even match up.
And far between.
You guys don't even understand. This new smoker was a complete game changer. What I spent for it and on it, I got about $1,000 invested into it. I've checked prices and given its quality and its build and how it is, because it's a showpiece with wheels and pretty. I could probably turn around and sell this thing for $3 fucking grand. It's got a blower, it's reverse flow. Like I took a halfway decent smoker that was amazingly well built and added a few touch. It's fucking amazing. Even Jen's like, babe, you do barbecue well, but this smoker makes the best barbecue you've ever made. Like, it blows away what you did back home.
You better throw that on a fucking U-Haul flatbed, drag it out to Connecticut, and have you a roaster, bitch.
It weighs 1,000 pounds.
So you throw it on an extra large U-Haul gimmick.
Like, I have
I'll
to
tell you
ship
what.
it. I have to ship it on a fucking semi.
I know two guys who, if one doesn't do it, the other will, who will donate their yard to host this smoker. See, there's one. And the other one is Derek the Undertaker.
I got 11 acres.
We've been talking about planning a trip. I don't know when it happens, but when it happens, we're gonna eat. Don't you worry.
Drag the smoker.
Don't you worry. We're
The
gonna
big
eat.
fat smoker.
That's
Oh.
right. Recognize. Well, congrats on your tattoo that you got from some drunken hillbilly that put together the tilt-a-whirl an hour before he gave you the tattoo.
Oh, it wasn't. It was awesome. Not to go on about it. He was definitely a Mexican Hispanic guy.
Oh, even better.
Had a bunch of tattoos. Really good. This is like probably like the premier shop in town.
Excuse me, sir. How you spell that brain tone
Yeah, but
again?
here's the thing: is that the tattoos have all been, this is what I want, and I did one.
Right.
And I told the artist, and then the next artist got to put his version of that into it. So
You got a
yesterday's
community
version,
tattoo.
you saw yesterday's version, all right? When I sent the picture in the thread,
You
Right.
did.
right? That is that's his. It has a very Latino Mexican style drawing flair to it, even though it's not a very complicated tattoo. It's kind of what the way I liked it. Every artist was allowed to make their version of what I want. I want the heart and the scroll and a name and a date, and you draw that and do that about this size the way you want to. So I thought it was a nice way to let an artist do a little bit. Every artist I've ever done is like, oh, I like a little bit of originality. Let me just do some shit. Because he was like, I'm just gonna ink it right on and go. Is that okay? He's like, I'm just gonna draw it. I'm like, yeah. He drew it and took a picture, and Jen came over and inspected it. Was like, yep, everything's spelt right, dates are right. It looks good. That's a nice drawing. Hit it. And he just free-handed the whole thing. So they're some of my favorite tattoos just because that's how they're done. They're the artist's choice. It's chef's choice on the tattoos.
That's
I
why
like
that's
that.
what I always tell my guys. The guy lately who's done all my birds on me, my owl and my raven.
Your cock.
I yeah, and my cock, and my big black cock. Don't forget my big black cock on my arm.
I would be remiss if I did not mention the big black cock.
Big black cock.
So I give him a basic idea. Like, I like this picture. Put your spin on it. Like the owl I have, nothing like what I showed him. But I'm like, I really like that. I like that. That's awesome. So I just, again, artist choice. So make it look like shit.
Dude is high as shit. Looks like the fucking owl from the fucking Tootsie Pop commercial.
A
Right,
one, a two, a three.
And then when he's high, he talks to the owl about butt stuff.
While he rubs the other arm on his big black cock.
You know, I got to tell you, I never thought for
What are
a
you doing?
million years.
Rubbing my
Never
cock.
Oh my God. Never thought for a million years I would trade drunk Lynch for high Lynch, but I really like high Lynch.
I love High Lynch. It's absolutely entertaining. It so is. His life is not a fucking. I like it because that's his medium. Yeah, well, that's his medium that he knows he can control. That's his being able to function, and he does it the way that he does it. He doesn't like fucking walk around zooted all fucking day, but once he comes home, he hurts and he indulges in daddy's medicine. All right, but it doesn't wreck his fucking life.
So I walked in the door.
It's some of the shit that he says, like, I've got to write it down and just print a book. And someday it's going to be a book, and it's just going to be titled.
It's going to be called The Dude Chat. No, it's just called The Dude Chat.
Shit Lynch said while high.
Lynch, tell your story. You walk through the door.
So I walked through the door at 10 of. I go into the living room. I said, hey, honey, you're already in your pajamas. She's like, I don't feel so good. I'm like, okay, well, what's wrong? Oh, just everything. She's probably getting her annual end of summer cold.
Oh, no, I've heard a lot of people getting that now.
Go right to the kitchen, crack open the edible bag. Which two should I take right now? So in about half an hour, things are going to get fun.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah, I have that all kinds of that shit here. I have it as chocolate. I have 500 milligram bags of Doritos. I've got Nerds, which I'm waiting for a kid's party, and I'm just going to sprinkle it on the ice cream.
Yes.
I've got several candies that I just want to just pass out at parties. Oh, want some chocolate? Not to the
from 2 to 22, you just throw those THC nerds on
just
CBD
a little bit
gimmicks.
of Nerds. Who likes Nerds? Oh yeah, eat these.
I want to hear a 2-year-old wax philosophically about macroeconomics because they're high. That would be great.
I remember your first roaster. You bring out this lasagna pan full of snacks. And oh, you want a cookie? And I'm like, oh,
yeah, there was there was $500 worth of edibles in that pan. You guys want party treats? Welcome to my party. Oh, and by the way,
I would love one.
I don't charge $16 for you to get in.
Oh,
hey, did that happen yet?
Just remember, all of Big Herm's parties are free. You just have to show up.
I don't know if it happened yet. I'll have to check. You'd know better than I would.
I'll have to do some investigating.
You're friend with the Zimbabwe princess, so you'd have to check that out. Starvin' Marvin. Not that he's starving, but we'll go from there.
The expansion is still underway.
Wow.
No pun intended.
I love it. I love it. Hello, Speedway guy, otherwise known as Jordan from the Speedway Review, checking in with us tonight.
Jordan? What is up?
Hey, no, Jordan.
I can tell you what's up, Jordan. Nope. I will wait till tomorrow.
Sorry.
Come on. Anyway.
Come on.
You will
Let's
know
take
pain.
can we take a moment before we get into all the death and destruction that's happened over the week to just address the mugshot that didn't need to happen? Now, if you guys are aware of mugshots,
But most of us are kind of glad it did.
I'm one of them. When you take a
So am I.
mugshot of somebody, it's because the public needs to know what this person looks like that you've arrested. Here is
Be on the lookout in case you see this
yeah.
person. They may be dangerous. They've
Yeah.
definitely committed a crime.
here's
In the
stupid here.
In the
Go ahead,
off chance that he may escape,
Yeah.
or
Yeah, here's stupid McWonderfuck. Be on the lookout
hey,
for this guy.
I know him.
Yeah. There is not a corner of this world that does not know, unless you go to the deepest bush of Africa where Matt Walsh went, that doesn't know what Donald John Trump looks like.
Well, I guarantee you, at least one of those motherfuckers knows
I
something.
gotta be honest. I like it for kind of a fucked up reason.
And what's
I can
that
tell you why
reason?
I like it, but you go, please.
All right, so he skipped the debate the other night.
Yep.
All right, I'm not really happy with most of the candidates that are on that ballot. That were
I
in
like
that,
two.
All right, like I said, most. But the fact that he didn't do it was almost like nobody. I felt it was a very privileged, entitled move to make. I want to be the president of the United States. You guys already know what I'm about. You guys know what's up. Elect me. Do it. I felt it was very I don't know. I don't think it was the best move. I think it would have been best to represent if this is what I'm looking for, it would at the very least, it's like a business party. I gotta stop in, I gotta say hi. Maybe he leaves fucking early. Maybe he walks out and he's done, but he shows up and he faces off. I thought it was kind of fucked up when he didn't do it. So the fact that they made him show up for a mugshot, which is in case this guy commits a crime, this is what he looks like, was extremely ironic to his position of why I didn't show up to your
okay.
debate there.
Listen, he was already elected president once. He's not saying anything sideways from what he ran on in 2016. He really doesn't. In my opinion, I think it was a 50-50 move. Yes, I agree with you on everything you said, but the other 50 is, you know who I am, you know what I've done. What am I going to add to these debates? These are the guys that are coming for my spot, which technically it is his spot. These are the guys coming after me. Learn who they are. And if you've been living under a rock, and a lot of people in this world find a way to live under a fucking rock, who either don't know what Donald Trump is running on or haven't learned the top 3 or 4 names that were on that stage on Wednesday night, maybe you should educate yourselves. Maybe you should get away from fucking Candy Crush or, You're So Not Invited to My Bar Mitzvah on Netflix, and maybe check out the news. And I don't care if you watch Fox News or CNN. I don't care which side.
You're not invited.
Yeah, it's a movie. It's
Sandler.
Adam Sandler and his daughter.
Yep, and his wife.
Oh, it's a movie. I thought it was some. All right, we're good.
No. But or tear yourself away from whatever bullshit you've got going on. This is the future of our country. Watch the fucking debates. If you're a Democrat or Republican, I tend to watch both sides.
Yeah, I want to see what everybody has to say because I got, you know what I mean. Like I haven't found my it candidate in any party, so
I thought I found my it. I really did. And here's a question for you.
What?
Why is it, other than RFK Jr., no one on the Democratic side is throwing their name into the hat? You have 8 potential candidates.
I don't
You
know.
have
There's
8
there's half a dozen potential candidates that would rock against Joe, and nobody is throwing their hat out. Like there's like, what are we paying homage to the king before he fucking dies? Nobody wants to challenge him. Like
Nobody wants to. No,
you guys even know how to fucking win? Like you've got to throw somebody with some charisma in there.
and it ain't gonna be fucking Kamala.
Joe. And I don't have a problem with Joe. Personally, I don't think he's the best. I don't think he's just coming from the state fair. I don't think he's the grand champion pig, man.
I can tell you why. I can tell you why
No,
Democrats.
not side note. Please Google the 2023 Colorado state champion steer grand champion.
Steer. Okay.
Yeah, it was a steer, but this fucking beautiful. I could have got so many beautiful cuts out of this fucking thing, but it had long fur. It's like it looked like a teddy bear. Like I wanted to bring it home and take it to bed and cuddle with it and sleep with it. Like, and it was a fucking cow, dude. Jen was like, "It's so soft and fluffy." It is the most fucking awesome looking cow you've ever seen.
Okay, hold on. I'm looking.
It is this big black steer, and it's awesome. I wish I'd taken a picture, but we were just kind of in the moment. But it was fucking awesome.
Oh wow!
They're not showing who. They're not showing who the. I didn't see the champion yet.
Are you
seeing the lineup?
It's like a big. It's like somebody crossed a bear and a fucking ox. Yeah.
I just want to throw it out there.
See how velvety and soft it looks?
Oh my shit!
Yeah, dude. I was like, oh my god, I want to make fucking seats out of that. It was
seat covers. You got leather. You got steaks, dude.
Like, there's brisket and prime rib and seat covers there.
Get your Ledyard Lewis on and steal that piece of meat.
Yo, for real, like that. It was the most amazing steer. I was like, wow.
By the way, Ledyard Lewis, if you're watching, I'm sorry you did this to yourself.
Yes.
By the way, if you're at the Colorado State Fair this weekend, Pat Benatar and Neil Girardo will be playing all the hits.
Fluffy is doing a show this week.
Nice.
Lady, I believe Lady A and somebody else is playing.
Fuck Lady A.
Well, I'm just saying, it'll be cool depending on where they all perform, because I can sit on the back porch right out here, and
dude, Hatfield used to be able to do that in Noblesville, where they throw, they have an amphitheater and all that shit.
Yeah, like REO Speedwagon was awesome last year.
Yeah, I went and saw him a couple of years ago. Oh wow, it's almost 15 years ago when I went out to where he lived in Noblesville.
He's like, let's go out to the porch.
he said, I sat on my porch the other night and listened to Kiss and Ted Nugent. I was like, shit. He goes, yeah, Travis Tritt's playing tomorrow night. So what do? Crack a couple beers, put our feet up, and listen to Travis Tritt. It was great.
Yeah. Pat Benatar, and then there's a Keith Sweat. Chingy's coming. There's a whole bunch. There's a whole bunch of shit going on, man. It's pretty cool.
Oh, I love it.
What was I going? Oh, back to the Democrats.
Please.
I can tell you why there's no Democrats jumping up and down to throw their name in the hat.
Go ahead.
They're fucking afraid because they don't want to be associated with Joe Biden right now. He is so far gone.
Yeah, but wouldn't you throw yourself in the ring to say that you're not associating with him? That's what I would do. I'm not with him. I'm here. I'm with myself.
Let him go. Let him go, Herm. Let him go.
Who are your choices?
Joe Manchin. If he decided to run, and if I didn't have somebody on the Republican side I liked, I'd vote for Joe Manchin twice, because as a Democrat, you're allowed to do that.
Middle. He's very, very, very center.
So you got RFK Jr. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not a shot in hell. Not a shot in hell.
Yeah, The
Democratic Party does it outside of Joe Manchin. The Democratic Party has nobody to put up on stage and say, "This is your next president."
If it wasn't for the fact that
Manchin could do it with just charisma and vitality alone, he could do that.
I'll give him that. I will give him that.
These old people these young kids that literally sit there and call everybody a fucking boomer have elected and suck up to the biggest fucking boomer on the planet.
if she didn't leave the party, and she hasn't declared if she's going to be independent, she hasn't declared if she's going to be libertarian, Republican. I also, on the Democratic side, because I was a registered Democrat for 20 years, I like Kirsten Sinema. I think she's got the legs that she could do it.
Yeah, I once again, this comes down to I'd love for Polis to throw his hat in the ring, but he's doing a very good job, and he likes his job as governor here. But I've watched him speak, and I listened to him speak on the regular as the governor, and I think he'd be a great Democratic candidate for president.
I got two words for you. I don't care what side she sits on. My future ex-wife, Lauren Boebert.
Oh, that bitch are hanging around. Everybody around here mad as fuck. Yo, I gotta be honest. We are one of the biggest. We have one of the most amounts of veterans in this state than any other state. We're like fifth on the list, sixth on the list. All right, a top number of veterans, war vets, and she's been voting for all kinds of shit that cut veteran stuff and like handling like the way that we wanted Agent Orange handled. This is stuff for like the fires in Iraq, Afghanistan, the chemical fires they've dealt with, for some of the stuff for the veterans with their health stuff. And she's voted against some shit like consistently, and the old men ain't gonna the vets ain't gonna take that shit. They're pissed.
So outside,
I just want to see her.
She looks good, but she's
outside.
Just
yeah, true. But outside of the three of us, who knows these people? That's your problem. That's your problem.
Actually, agree.
That's your problem with the Democratic. That's your problem with the Democratic Party. We know because we follow politics, because we take the time, and people like us who actually kind of give a shit about who's going to be thrown up for both parties. Not because I'm standing up for the Democrats. I'm not standing up for either side. But given a choice between 50-50, I want to be educated on both of my choices.
I want to know what all my fucking evils are.
Right?
Which lesser than am I going to pick come election time?
But that's the thing. You don't have to go lesser than. You have the libertarian candidates. You have the others. There's always at least 7 names on the ballot. You just happen to know 2 of them. If you do like I do every fucking election cycle and look through the candidates, and I'm not saying the 2 of you don't. I'm saying the general public. No,
a lot of the general public doesn't just pay the fuck attention.
The assholes and the morons that voted for Sleepy Joe. Yeah. Because, well, he's not Trump. Well, you wasted your fucking vote because look where we are now.
There was a lot of other people on that ballot that weren't Trump.
Sure, Joe Jorgensen being one of them.
Fucking fly. Get out of here.
Yeah, fly.
But again, sure. With the Libertarian Party, it's again name recognition. They're not. Their faces aren't out there in the media enough. And they don't pound the pavement because the unfortunate circumstances, they don't have the money to do that. Unless you're independently wealthy.
Problem is their image. Their image is their Republican light.
And but lately the Libertarian Party has gone more Democrat-like.
But they have. But the problem is
in
everybody
the past, yes.
Them, everybody knows the snake and don't tread on me. And that's what everybody knows them as, is Republican light with Republicans with a mask. And they haven't sent out a clear message as to what being a libertarian and what it means.
Well, I think it's time that they start.
They're just kind of moving back and forth in a much smaller arc. They're still wavering. They just do it less extreme to right or left.
Because when they swing, they don't swing extreme. They swing on a very narrow. They swing on a very narrow channel.
They sit right there in the middle and just kind of go, but they do swing very slowly and mildly back and forth depending on the issue.
And here's why, from a political standpoint, why libertarians don't get the fair shake. Because people see them as waffling. It's not about waffling. It's about listening to both arguments and coming to a logical conclusion. The conclusion that's best for the people. but people aren't like that nowadays. I want it now, and this is how I want it.
Well, it's because they don't want to admit, and people don't. Everybody is so divided, and the system is so divisive right now that understanding the concept that people are liberal and conservative at the same time just boggles their mind. Okay, if we're talking about porn, I'm liberal. Let it happen. It's great. Go for it. If we're talking about kiddie porn, I'm conservative. It's wrong. Let's not let that happen.
And I'm the same way.
And people are the same way. I like guns, but I also don't think anybody should just be able to walk around with any fucking thing they want without a little small amount of regulation to make sure that everybody's okay. I'm a law-abiding citizen. I have no problem. Check anything you want.
Well, I've got nothing to hide. That's the thing.
Right.
We have none of us have anything to hide. So I'm
Right.
all about you regulate me. Go ahead.
Go ahead
and do it.
I have no issue for it.
Make the background check take a week. I really don't give a fuck.
Unless you change the age to buy a gun to 65, I don't give a fuck what the age is.
I'll still be able to buy one before you.
Right. Of course, you old fuck. But I also think that when I want to buy a gun, it's okay for somebody to say, "Who are you?" So
it's like that thing that
is, "Who are you?"
It's like that thing that Lynch brought up back in the old studio days, the sovereign citizen bullshit. I'm not driving, I'm traveling. I'm a sovereign citizen. You can't touch me. No, you're a citizen of this country, bound by these laws, doing these things. And the problem is I'm going to say it. It's like a TikTok thing. Anytime somebody sees something on TikTok and it grabs their attention, they go on the Google machine. It's called confirmation bias. You look for something that agrees with what you're saying. And this is not limited to that crowd. This could be anybody. The moronic flat earthers that are out there, or, look, every time somebody brings up Trump anything, and I'm not a Trump guy, we've had this conversation on the show, in public, wherever, and I go, allegedly, because the man deserves his day in court. Much like, and I say it to these people, like if you were accused of a crime and I just went out and said, oh, and I'm just going to make up a name, Brian Jackson. I don't know anybody named Brian Jackson. If somebody named Brian Jackson is listening, sorry. Brian Jackson's been accused of multiple rapes and this and that. I will still lean forward and say, allegedly. Because you have to have your day in court. These people think because they've watched a week's worth of Judge Judy and watched fucking Rachel Maddow, that manly-looking cunt.
Gotta be Wapner.
10 minutes to Wapner.
4 o'clock.
Because they've watched a bunch of court shows, they think, oh, well, he's automatic. They indicted him. He has to be guilty. Well, they've indicted a lot of people who have walked away because there was insufficient evidence. I'm not saying I'm sticking up for DJT at all. I think what they're doing is bullshit.
Well,
if they get him on, go ahead, please.
If you ask these people what's the difference between indictment and conviction, they can't tell you. Indictment just means they have enough proof to go to trial.
In other words, is there enough proof to make the charge stick?
Right. There's a preponderance of evidence that we can continue.
Then we can argue our points and allow a jury or judges, however, or whatever the system that they're using, to do that.
Problem is, if you listen to the Sunshine Band out there, who all they know is headlines, because they're not smart enough to read the fucking article that's underneath the headline. Oh, Trump was indicted. Oh, he's terrible. Really?
It just means they found enough
Martin Luther
proof.
King Jr. was indicted on crimes. And we have a fucking holiday named after him. You know who was never indicted for a crime and should have been? Adolf fucking Hitler. So while we're walking this path, excuse me for taking over, but I feel the need to say this right now. For all the people that want to call Trump, and I quote, literally Hitler, and how he was the scourge of this nation, I don't like him, but I don't see it that way. He didn't kill 6 million people. He didn't try to take over the world. He didn't try to silence his enemies. But you know what? Let's take the Holocaust out of this. Every other thing I mentioned is the exact same thing that Joe Biden and his fucking cronies are doing right now. So if you're smart enough to read a book or a newspaper or an editorial at any particular given moment in time, I'm going to die.
Please don't die.
Thank you. If you're smart enough to read anything other than a fucking headline or one of those 20-second reads on Facebook, you would learn rather quickly that the people you're accusing of being Nazis are not Nazis. It's the people you support that are closer to Nazis than anybody else. My name's Chris Burns, and that's my opinion.
Well, and I keep saying this over and over again. The people who cry fascist are the fascists.
Exactly.
Because they're suppressing thought and freedom of
Right,
selection of thought.
because
That is the purest form of
they use the
fascism.
term fascist to throw at you when you don't agree with exactly what they say.
Because they don't understand the meaning of the word. The meaning of the word, if they were to take the 5 seconds it takes to look up the Webster or Merriam, whatever fuck dictionary they use,
Well, they
they
can't
choose to look it up, they would
can't read.
understand.
if they,
Because they don't want to be exposed to the
well,
truth.
if they have
They'd
to
rather
look up
believe this
definition of
lie.
fascism.
Let him
They,
go. Let him go. I'm enjoying
Go.
this.
They'd rather believe that lie that they've been telling themselves for how many ever years of what a fascist actually is. Because I say this, and it all goes back to fast food nation. Everything
Yep.
we want it now, and we want it in less than a minute. And going back to the sovereign citizen thing for just a minute, I laugh every time I see these guys in broadcasted court material because they say I'm not a member of the United States. I'm a sovereign citizen, but yet they hide behind the Constitution when it comes to them. Okay,
Say it louder for the people.
if you're a sovereign,
for the people in the back.
if you're a sovereign citizen, you don't believe in the Constitution or anything that applicable to you. You don't get that right. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't say you don't have jurisprudence or jurisdiction over this case. Guess what, bub? You're in court. You committed a crime, or you were driving without a license, or an unregistered vehicle, which is 99% of these cases, because they don't
Right.
feel I don't need to pay taxes. It's not the law. I'm traveling, not driving commercially. Well, every state in the fucking union requires you to get a driver's license.
You're
driver's
operating
license,
a motor vehicle. Exactly.
a driver's license is a privilege, not a right, and it can be taken away at any time. If you fail to renew that privilege, that's on you. Don't hide behind the Constitution that you so wholeheartedly take a shit on every day because you don't believe in its foundation and what it is. You go back to the Black Law Dictionary, which is written in the 16 and 1700s, that has absolutely no correlation to modern day society. The Black Laws Dictionary was part of what they used to write the Constitution, but that stuff is so outdated. It's ridiculous. It doesn't hold up in court. The UCC, this code, that code, throw it all away because you're fucking telling yourself a lie because you don't want it to apply to you. And it's just like these people who are screaming fascist. They believe their own bullshit and they don't want to hear the truth. The truth of the matter is you're fucking stupid, you're ignorant, and you're the fascist. I'm Chris Lynch,
Pretty much.
and I support this message.
All right. Well, let me support your message just a little bit further because it's the same people that cry freedom of speech when they have their. Do you remember Kathy Griffin holding up the visage of Donald Trump's severed head? And
Yeah, absolutely.
she damn near lost her career. And she's like, oh, no, it's just my expression of freedom of speech and yada, yada, yada. And everybody went, well, at least on the left, went, okay. But if you ride around town with a fuck Trump flag on, you're a racist, you're this, you're that. The current culture has bastardized these words so much that they've lost their meaning, especially when it comes to, and it's one of my favorites to pick on, transphobia. Now, if you take that word and break it down, trans for the trans community, phobia, fear. Nobody fears them. We fear the fact that it's being foisted upon our children.
I'm not afraid of them. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with the point of view. All right. Just based on natural scientific reasons.
You don't get to change the meaning of
And
words.
I'm okay with anybody choosing what they want to be, but I don't, and how that, and that's fine. But I also don't want anybody telling young kids impressionable shit of any kind, because they aren't smart enough to digest it correctly. And telling them that it's okay to be some way for a child, as we know through pedophile grooming, that telling them that it's okay to be this way is also a form of grooming. So
According to
I
them.
think that, well, I'm just saying,
Fuck them, they're wrong.
I don't agree, and I'm allowed to not agree, and it doesn't make me a fascist or a
Or a
bigot
phobe or an ist.
or a phobe or some sort of ist. I just don't agree, and that's all it comes down to.
You know, I've said it before, and I don't
This
mean to
is
step
Dick
on your
Herman.
point,
I
Herm.
approve this fucking message.
We're gonna go long tonight because we still have Bob
Oh
Barker,
yeah,
Bray
oh
Wyatt, and
yeah.
Terry
We haven't
Funk.
even touched Bob Barker and the
I'll
dead
have to
people.
work tomorrow.
I do, but it's going to be a light day. When we have these conversations, and I talk about, and you guys talk about, and we all agree because we're not pablum puking fucking idiots, how the changing of the words, the changing of the
eating lead paint.
words, right? Well, that's not what phobia means. It means hatred. No, it doesn't. It means fear.
No, it means fear of.
Phobia.
Irrational fear.
Claustrophobic.
Irrational
And
fear of.
he had an irrational fear of enclosed spaces. I don't have
Right.
an irrational fear. I just don't agree with everything you say.
One of you guys is going to know the name of this. I have an irrational fear of mice and rats. I don't know what it's called. I want to say it's like moanophobia or something.
Yeah, it's not like rodent phobia. It's something funked up. Because
Yeah.
we did a whole thing
But
in biology.
that's
about it,
real.
but,
That's real.
yeah, like if you see a mouse run across the floor, like you're fucked.
Dude, don't get me started. Shut up.
No,
I'm already...
I know it just fucks you up. But like, yeah, it's an irrational fear. It's like
that's what phobia is. And much like when I hear, you know, some of these $2 idiots use the word boomer.
I see a dude in a dress, I don't get fucking. I'm not.
No, I'm not afraid. I'm just disgusted.
It's cool that you do what you want to do. It's not my thing, but I also don't want to be forced to promote whatever it is you got going on. I mean,
go ahead, Lynch. Herm's gonna die.
Not yet.
Musophobia. M-U-S-O phobia is an irrational and overwhelming fear of mice and rats.
That's me. I have moosophobia. I'm afraid to go to Sterling.
I'm afraid to go to Sterling.
I'm afraid to get raped.
In order to get to Massachusetts, I gotta go
through Moosop.
I never left the fucking northern border of the state ever.
I hit Jewett City, I just stopped.
But that's part of the problem. That is seriously part of the problem, is that we have a generation of people who just want to change the meaning of words and move it around. Herm and I had a good time the other day on, once he gets his cans back on, Herm and I had a good time the other day just making fun of the way people talk when he said something and I said something, and then he said, for real. And I'm like, yeah, dead ass, no cap. And where I can see us on either end of the fucking gimmick machine pissing ourselves laughing because
this motherfucker's talking said dead ass, no cap.
These people.
Well, then I came up with, I gotta be honest, I like for real. And I don't use it all the time, but when something gets really fucking bad, like, no, not for real.
No,
like when I need to make a
for real.
Like at work, no, not for real. For real, yeah, no. Like for real.
That makes sense.
But it's how I have to talk.
Dead ass, no cap.
Like everybody at work is like 21, 22, and it's my entire team at work is women.
So they're all stupid.
Oh
no, I gotta be honest. For what they do, these bitches are tight, bro. If I could give them
he went from they're not stupid, but these bitches.
Oh, and I use it as a term of endearment. the way I would say this, these assholes in the kitchen. I use it as a term of endearment. These ladies, if I could give them 6 months of culinary training, I'd put them up against any fucking team of 3 to 4 guys on the fucking planet. Like,
All right.
these girls are soldiers. But yeah, like they're young, but they're young. So like, I don't understand what they're saying half the time.
It's sad that you have to dumb yourself down to meet their
Just have
expectations.
to smile and say, "All right, so we're gonna take care of that." Okay, good, thanks. That's
Yeah, dead ass, no cap.
Dead ass, no cap. We're gonna change that out every period, right? Good. Dead ass, no cap. Dead ass, no cap. We need to start wrapping the fucking cheese.
And that's the root of the problem, Chris. It is not just the trans movement that likes to change and flex the words and laws to protect themselves.
Mm-hmm.
It goes into sovereign citizenry. It goes into these college students who just expect a paycheck when they get out of college. It's because they have such a distorted view of what reality really is. They get out in the real world, they're sorely disappointed that their first job is $16 an hour.
Dude,
I'm sorry.
I had 2 shims come through. I didn't know how to address them. I was very uncomfortable. I didn't know whether to say dude or ma'am. Very polite at work, and I don't know how to, here's your coffee, they them. I don't know how to do it. Here's your coffee.
Shim.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I use it like sir, ma'am, like it's a title of respect, and I don't know how to. Here's your title, person. I don't.
Let me see your hands.
It's very difficult to be polite in the service industry at a college, man. Like,
it's ma'am. Sorry, your Adam's apple didn't give it away.
I look at the package and I'm like, it's pink pants.
Your cock is hanging out of your skirt.
Right? Yeah, and a little tight blouse, and it's got pink stuff through the hair, a little longer, and like some glasses. And it could be like a really ugly chick, and it's with no tits, but I think it's a dude.
I like your bikini. Thank you. It really shows off your bulge.
It makes your cock look excellent. Dude, that bikini makes your cock look huge. I don't.
It's like a.
Does this bikini make my cock look fat?
I'm probably gonna get fired tomorrow because somebody sees it, but I don't tell anybody where I work. I just tell them. I just said I work at a college.
You just tell them you got a job. That's all there is to it.
I got a job.
But yeah, like I there's some like, and then another one came in, and I don't know. I'm not mean to anybody or disrespectful, but like they walk in and the first thing out of my mouth is like, ugh. Can I help you? And I don't know how to stop that. Ugh. Like
it's a guttural reaction. You can't stop
I can't
it.
stop it. It's like, ugh.
And you have that face.
Can I help you, they, them?
And you have that face that you can't hide it.
They walk in and it's just
because you get that look on your face, and I know the look.
The girls at work laugh their asses off because they just walked in, and one of the girls was working, and she had to like turn the fuck around, and she looked away from the people that were out in the lobby, and she would not. And I'm like, Gianna, what's up? And she's like, don't look at me, don't talk to me. I was like, she's like, don't leave me alone. I'm gonna laugh. I'm like, I haven't said anything. Look, I already know. I saw your face when they walked in.
Exactly. You can't
hide it. She's like, I can't look at you right now because I know something will come out of your mouth.
You can't hide it. Your face tells the story.
Lynch is
somebody walks in, you're like,
correct.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah, I don't even have to say it. My face is like,
fuck. What is this?
I know, and it's tough, but I have to be respectful. So it's like, can I
help them?
Help you?
Megan has the same problem. She can't hide it from her face. I'm like, honey, you're doing it again.
I'm sorry. I can't stop it.
If I could, run the game, I would.
It's like this look of like puzzlement and bewilderment and just like what the fuck is that? I don't even know how to deal with that.
That was the sentence I was waiting for.
So we've run the gamut from who's going to be president to they, them. What else?
Can we get into? We got death, unfortunately. Let's
Yeah,
start with the big. Let's
yeah.
start with the biggest one. Bob Barker officially made himself the closest without going over, and passed away this past week at the age
Just
of
Bob Barker,
99.
God damn it. Without
Raised
going,
a little.
got the closest to $1 without going over. 99.
What do you got
baby.
playing? Can't hear anything.
Put it near this.
Nope, you done fucked it up again.
That old bastard's deaf as fuck. You know it's gonna come in real loud now.
No, I'm gonna take care of business here.
This is bad.
I'm gonna take care of business here.
For real, just some Bob Barker theme.
Nope, I got something better. If I could spell.
It was a Price is Right scene.
Oh, okay. See, it didn't come through.
We didn't get any of that.
Wow, that's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. Like your volume is off. Like, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, man. No cap.
Yeah, it's really bad at work.
Dead ass,
man.
no cap.
Like, literally, like the girls just lose their shit because I'm like they like, ugh. And then they start laughing. It's bad. It's really bad. It's bad. I kind of like the job. It's not very difficult. I mean, and don't get me wrong, there are definitely
Why is it
some.
not playing?
There are definitely
That's
some
the wrong
conservative women there, and you definitely know they're women. But then there's also some Brunhildes, but it's they're liberal. It's okay. It's okay to be a woman. It's not bad. Just because you're a pretty woman, it does. Oh, what do we have? What do we have?
I'm trying to figure it out. Let's go.
Going off that cliff at the top of the mountain. And if you know enough about the prices of these three prizes,
Shut up.
You'll be safe. What are those three prizes?
What are those prizes, Rod?
No. Here he goes. One step for every dollar you miss the prize.
Yodelay.
The best
Dude,
game.
that was my
Price is
favorite.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie, that was my favorite. They didn't do it as often. They did it pretty good when we was kids, but they slowed it down because it wasn't that great. But the little Alps dude game, that was.
Oh yeah, the mountain climber,
I could give
cliffhanger.
a fuck about Plinko.
Plinko was terrible.
Plinko was terrible. It was total chance, but
It took skill to play the mountain climber game.
yes, it took skill to get to the Plinko round, but to answer the questions by pricing to get your coins. But Plinko, the actual game, was a game of chance. But yes, the mountain climber game was skill, and it was my favorite. I love
We'll
that
take
shit.
a minute. Just want to read the quick. He was so close. He was, let's see, September, October. He was 4 months away from his 100th birthday. Bob Barker, born on December 12th, 1923, passed away just this past week, August 26th, 2023. He was the host of.
He was $99.66.
Dude, he was the closest without going over.
was-
Hey, boy.
was
Okay, we got a comment.
99.
Yo.
For real, he was 99.66 cents.
Hey,
Yo,
boys.
John.
How's y'all? Looking for more followers? Are they out there? Love Bob Barker. Grew up with him. Same here. Look, if you were
most
ever,
of us only knew Bob Barker when we were eating chicken soup
I was
and
just getting to that.
drinking ginger ale, and we had a pillow and a blanket on a couch, and our mother told us that that's where we fucking lived.
For the next 2
that
days.
morning, for the next however long it was until you went to bed. Like, that's where it is. You're on the couch, and Bob came on at like 10 o'clock. So
Depending on
knew
which channel you watched him on,
What?
ours was 11.
I
Yeah,
didn't hear
11
you.
o'clock. I knew what time it was based upon the Price
I
is
know
Right
it
feed.
was. That's why that's why our show is called The Price is Wrong, Bitch.
Oh, here we
Price
go.
is wrong, Bob.
Tells my wife.
John
So,
says he watched it with his grandma when he was sick as well. Absolutely. And look,
yeah, like parked on a couch, chicken noodle soup. For me, it was like a poached egg because I was ill, and like poached egg on dry toast for breakfast, and then soup for lunch with the shitty saltine crackers, which we all know now were the best saltine crackers because the ones
of course. A radio host until 1956 when he started Truth or Consequences, which ran until 1975. He picked up the mantle of The Price is Right in 1972 when I was born.
we remember him
held it
with
until-
brown hair.
Right.
We remember him with brown hair.
I do.
I want to
do.
give him credit where credit is due. He always had that long, skinny microphone, no matter how long he did his gimmick.
Yeah, and his lipstick microphone.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh, and look, and John's coming in. He says his grandma would do the soft-boiled egg. So we're all sharing our war stories from when we're kids, talking about Bob Barker. Does anybody know? And I have to put this out here. I know his wife died in 1981. He did a whole bunch of these like weird game shows. Not
the
just as a host.
alternative game shows.
Yeah,
The
he would
ones
do.
he did in like the mid to late 80s.
Well, no, he would be like a guest host. Like if you watched, I don't know, the fuck is the name of the goddamn game show? The one where they read the password.
Yeah.
Alan was it Alan Cullen or Alan Ludden? Betty White's husband was the host.
That was Al Ludden.
Thank you. And Bob Barker would be one of the people on Password, and
Yeah, it would be
he
one of
was-
the celebrities.
yeah.
Yeah.
Around 1972, when he got the Price is Right gig, and we all remember the end of the show, became a huge animal rights activist. Please control the pet population. Have your
I'm
pets
Bob
spayed or
Barker.
neutered.
Please cut your dog's balls off. I'll see you tomorrow.
Right?
Hence my screen name tonight.
Yep. But there was controversy. Diane Parkinson, Holly Hallstrom, who, by the way, Holly Hallstrom could be 104 years old, and I still
Still
want to
beautiful.
violate her. Oh my god,
I'm not
so
gonna lie.
gorgeous.
I would do it too. I would do that in front of my wife. I'm not.
Holly
gonna
was
lie.
my favorite. Holly was my favorite.
Not gonna lie. My wife would probably hump one of those Barker Beauties girls. Let's be honest.
Now, to tell you guys a funny story out there. When Herm and I both worked grave shift and we were roommates, there was destination viewing. There was 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock, Price is Right. You take that hour, you go over to Engine 6 Pizza, get your lunch. 1 o'clock, Stefano, baby, Days of Our Lives.
It's me, Stefano.
Herm and I were so good at pricing this shit out. We both won the showcase, both of them, on multiple occasions.
Hundreds of times, literally all the time.
And we'd write it down. We're like, "What's your bid?" 27,500. We were stupid. In our early 20s, what's your bid? 31,690. Like 690? Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, I'm telling you, dealer prep. It's there. I'm telling you, it's
the boat, dude. I'm telling you, the boat is worth 20,000 itself.
The boat itself is 20 grand. Everything else is like 10.
Go ahead,
There's an interesting documentary. I don't know if it's
The Perfect Bid. It is great. It's on Netflix.
So for those of you who don't know, this guy went to multiple tapings of The Price is Right. And
that show's great. That doc is awesome.
The time he was actually picked, he picked perfectly every time because he figured out the system. He would watch Price is Right.
Well,
on rerun, he created a database of all the prices.
That was the database that was used to create. He used the video game because the video game used the Price is Right pricing formula, and all the numbers on the game matched the TV. So when he figured that out, he played the game till he knew every fucking thing there was, and then he went to the show.
And another good one is documentary about the guy who was on Pressure Luck. How he
I haven't seen that.
That's great because
I
this is
haven't
a
seen
smart.
that.
This is
I
a
like
smart mother.
I like the Pepsi airplane documentary.
Where's my jet,
Yeah.
bitches?
Where's my jet?
This guy was so smart. He figured out the pattern of the lights.
You
Was
got to
not
tell
a
me
ra-
where to find that doc. You really do, because that was my
Was not-
jam in the 80s.
Yes, you
I
do.
love
No
that. I
whammies,
I
no
loved
whammies,
every
no
iteration
whammies,
of it.
No whammies. No
whammies,
whammies.
stop.
Stop.
So
I
he
love it
figured out.
now because I get to watch Elizabeth Banks show her titties on TV.
Amazing
Yeah.
stuff. Amazing stuff.
So he
Go
was
ahead,
smart
Lynch,
enough to he was smart enough to figure out the light pattern, and know if it's over here, it's going to stop here when I hit the button. So he knew it was not so random, and he just racked up lots and lots of money.
Yeah,
And
that dude definitely has a little bit of the tism, though.
Oh yeah, you
Tism.
think?
That dude has the tism, and that's why he figured out the pattern. That dude has a little bit of the tism. I'm
The
just saying.
tism. That's a shirt. The tism.
I got the
I-
tism.
I
I need that on a shirt. I got the tism.
I went to
got
the
the
Colorado State Fair, and all I got
And I
was
got
a touch
the
of
tism.
the
All I
tism.
got was this. And I went to the Colorado State Fair, and I got
Just a touch.
A touch of tism.
Just a touch of the tism.
yeah, like that's lit. If you watch the doc, though, that guy definitely has a touch of the tism.
Right?
You could tell. Like,
As far as Bob's concerned, he was doing The Price is Right forever and an hour, and sometime in the mid '90s took a gig in a movie. Wasn't a trained actor. He was always a radio personality,
yeah,
but he took a gig
had a
in a
thing for
movie
radio.
and was alongside Adam Sandler. Which, if you look at the title of today's show, it's The Price is Wrong, bitch. Perhaps one of the most iconic scenes in a comedy film in years
One of the
is
best
Bob
cameos
Barker
ever.
and Adam Sandler.
Well, that's one of the best Bob Barker lines ever. Bob Barker, the cleanest, kissing everybody's mom's sister, everybody wanting to kiss him.
I mean, he
Please.
wasn't quite Richard Dawson, but he was close.
No, I mean, he wasn't Richard Dawson. Richard Dawson tongue kissed most of those women.
Richard Dawson come kiss the men too, I think.
Sticking a finger up
dude,
their asshole.
literally, come on, gentlemen, of the three of us, how by raise of hands, how many of us when we were children were like, I want to grow up to be Richard Dawson? That
I ain't gonna
motherfucker.
lie.
That
That dude
motherfucker
was-
kisses everybody. I think everybody wants to have sex with Richard Dawson.
Richard
wanna
Dawson
see it.
was pimp before pimp was a
Well,
thing.
yes, but white. And just yes, it was beautiful. Richard Dawson was the motherfucking man.
Oh, yeah.
Me testicles.
How
Yeah,
many husbands stood there while
And
Richard Dawson came up and let him kiss
and-
their wives? And he's
Yes,
just like, good
and then-
answer, good answer, good answer.
Yes, like kissed him and talked to him and be a little naughty, and then walk up and be like, "All right, my man, it's your turn."
Turn around.
Then turn around.
At the
Oh,
end of the
God.
tape, at the end of the taping, there's a wet spot underneath the ladies.
Turn around. Oh, you
Uh-huh.
don't even understand the length of legs on that joke. Turn around.
I know. What's it been? Fucking 40 years?
Swear to God, it has. Oh,
You
that
eat
joke's got legs.
Why does it smell like tuna in here?
Yeah.
Turn around.
Turn around.
Smells like a tuna boat.
Look, I love the Family Feud. I dig, what Steve Harvey's doing with it. Richard Dawson will still be the OG. When it comes to The Price is Right, and John said it a little while ago, Drew Carey is not the guy.
No.
Yeah,
He's
but
just not the guy.
but he's likable. Middle America loves
By
him.
who? Well,
Yeah.
Cleveland,
Middle
and
America-
surrounding areas.
Yeah, it was just Milwaukee. That's it.
Little old ladies like Drew Carey because he's very non-offensive. He's got that kind of face that a mother could love. You know what I mean? He's
Sure. Okay.
And
just-
only a mother could love.
he's just that kind of guy.
I
You
can
never
buy
hear
that.
you never hear any Drew Carey scandals.
Yeah.
That's a
you know
good
what I
point.
Ryan Seacrest probably will suck John.
And
But
he's going on Wheel of Fortune, right?
Yeah, after Pat
Yeah.
retires.
yeah.
All right. So what
Speaking of-
what industry is Ryan Seacrest not involved in? He's got a radio show.
Uh-huh.
He was on Live.
Yep.
With Kathy Lee or whatever the fuck her name is, Kelly Ripa.
Yep.
Yeah, now it's her husband.
American Idol. Runs a couple of production companies. The man never fucking sleeps. The man never sleeps.
He took over Dick Clark's production company, or it was willed to him or something.
Yeah, like he does it's now the Dick Clark thing with Ryan Seacrest on New Year's.
Rockin' Eve.
Yeah, DC Productions is now Ryan Seacrest's gimmick. The only thing I don't think Ryan Seacrest is involved with is heroin smuggling. That's about it. I think he does just about everything else on Earth.
We could do a whole fucking episodes on just game shows, man.
Yeah, we could.
So many iconic ones.
I got some ideas, and I want to start a Patreon, but that falls on you guys out there to donate to us. I have some great ideas for bonus episodes. Solo Jones, Lynch solo, me solo, Herm solo. Of course, Herm produces them all. And hey, but for $5 a month, you get some bonus content that you won't get anywhere else. So start thinking about it. I want to start a Patreon for this show. I want to start one for the Speedway review too, and give like little bonus gimmicks, which Herm would produce. But that would only be like 30 minutes. $5 a month, you get a bonus episode each week. You get some interesting stuff. Let's do it.
On that note, for as much as the show as I could watch last week, I thought that was a great show.
Which one?
Your interview with
Ward Burton.
Ward Burton.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Very good show.
I thought that we had an excellent show. That was really good.
We had a great rapport with him, and Herm will tell you, because I didn't even have to say it.
And I kept it clean till he left.
Well, yeah, but it took me everything that I had inside me to not pull out a Boomhauer joke.
Dude, I literally sat there at the entire show while he's there.
Waiting.
I'm literally like, please don't pull a Boomhauer.
Yeah, Burns is going to fuck this up.
Jen, what is cooking?
Your loins.
Yes. Oh, he's all silent now. All right, so
all right, there's no fire. We're good. It's just a bagel. You're good.
All right, quickly starting with Lynch around the horn. Give me your Bob Barker, your best Bob Barker memory, or what you'd like the world to remember about Bob.
Well, my best memories are summer vacation, sitting with my grandmother Lynch in the living room at 11 o'clock. She would have a cup of tea. I'd have my peanut butter sandwich, and we'd watch Bob Barker together. That was her show. She never missed an episode, even when she was really, really sick. Towards the end, she would be in the bedroom, and we actually put a TV in the bedroom just so she could watch her shows, her soap operas, Bob Barker, and Wheel of Fortune at night. It makes me think of my childhood. What I'll remember him for outside of that is his compassion and his dedication to prevention of stray animals. Working with a dog rescue, I see a lot, and I hear a lot of horror stories. And if people would just take a couple, it costs $112 at a cheap vet to get your pet spayed or neutered.
Jen and I usually don't care what it costs. I've paid anywhere from $200 to $300, and I really don't care. It's better for the entire population.
You can do it for free in Billy Bingham's backyard with a rubber band. I'll shut up now.
Well, you could do it that way, but no, I think.
Yeah, Jen just said when we did Grace was almost $500.
Yeah.
Yikes!
But it
makes
a healthier dog, straight up.
And people poo-poo our rescue because we charge so much for a puppy. It's $550. That's including Connecticut tax, which is weird because we're a nonprofit, but we still have to pay taxes.
Yeah, and it's not free to fucking feed that dog every day and give it the vet and all the shots that are up to date and it needs to get to the point where we can sell it to you healthy.
When you adopt an 8-week-old puppy, it will have, or any dog from us, it'll have all age-appropriate shots. It'll be microchipped. It'll be either be neutered or have a scheduled appointment to be neutered. And down south, they alter it by weight. They don't wait till they get 6 months old. They do it by weight. They're tiny little puppies they altered down in the south because there's so many kill shelters down there.
Oh, the shelter that Jen and I got most of our dogs from, they were all when when we picked the dogs up when we picked them all up at 8 weeks. When we picked them all up at 8 weeks, they were already neutered or spayed or whatever.
Yeah.
They were spayed. They were already
Yeah.
done.
They were
Our
Bob Barker.
when we picked them up, they were spayed, and they actually had a tattoo on
Yep.
their stomach
On their
that
tummy, so you know.
that there was an incision, and they were spayed.
Yep. Yeah, but so that his work with that and his philanthropy of keeping pets safe and standing up for pets' rights. I mean, because it sounds weird, but there are some really shitty people out there, and I've heard some horror stories, stuff that made me cry, and people just don't realize. And I think it just shows to how compassionate he was, just not only to people, but just a compassionate person overall.
Absolutely.
That's my memory, and that's how I want to remember him. He was a good,
All right.
despite the controversies and despite all that, he was just an all-around decent dude.
Yeah,
my
I'm not a
eyes.
fan of the controversies. I'm just going to remember, I can't say what you said any better, but he was the face and the voice of my childhood as a sick little kid.
Yep.
When you stayed home from school, and in the summertime, depending on when your friends ate lunch, you got the chance to sit and watch The Price and have a good time before your friends got done with lunch and you resumed wiffle ball or bike riding or whatever the fuck we did.
Yeah, and then you
Because
went out to meet everybody.
yeah, everybody met at 12 or 12:30 and you got back out there and you had a life.
Nobody
And
else strapped
part of that-
M80s to bullfrogs?
Say again, what now?
Nobody else strapped M80s to bullfrogs?
We're not talking about that right now because
Okay.
the
That's-
statute of
that's-
limitations
that-
is still
nobody,
open.
Nobody said that didn't happen, but
Okay,
we're
okay.
not talking about that right now.
There'll be
Not
no
that I would
talk-
ever do that. Not that I
there'll
ever
be
did
no-
that.
There'll be no talk of Vinnie Vincent.
Heard on this tour, right?
There'll be no talk of bullfrogs in the
Alleg-
store.
allegedly,
Allegedly.
allegedly.
Yeah, Bob Barker was the face and the voice of our childhood. If you are born anywhere between 1972 and 2007 and you got to stay homesick from school, and Bob Barker was a comforting soul when you sat there puking your face off. But for that 1 hour between 11 and 12, you were
You felt
right as
better.
rain.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it was
He
good
was
shit.
the best doctor without a PhD or an MD that you could find. Herm, your turn.
Pretty much reiterate everything you said. Like, yeah, you'd watch them during the summer, but remember back then TV was different when we were kids, and during the summer, most of it, a lot of there were reruns.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Even Bob Barker got a little time off during the
Oh
summer.
yeah.
But during the school year, when back when we were kids, we'd get the fall lineup cartoon blast episode
First run entertainment.
by network and tell us what cartoons were coming on for Saturday. But when that all happened, Bob was definitely live all the time. So, yeah, like you only saw Bob and on a day-to-day when you were sick.
Yeah.
Campbell's chicken noodle soup, fucking Ritz crackers, ginger ale.
And then in your 20s, shells and sauce from Engine 6 Pizza.
Yeah, it's the same thing. The meal changes when you get out on your own, but
But the
you might
feeling
order
stays
in,
the same.
but you're still eating it on the couch watching Bob Barker because that's just the way it works. Yeah.
With the big yellow Tupperware bowl in front of you as your puke bowl.
the big
Amen to
puke bowl.
that.
But
What
yeah,
the-
like that was the Bob Barker I knew. Spay neuter your pets, take care of your pets. Let's try and keep all these strays off the street because it's not good for anybody. And especially the animals. So do what you can. And yeah, it's very
All
sad.
right. Well, rest in peace, Bob. I will tell you, the sad trombone is not the same without you. Bum, bum, ba, bum, bum.
Whoa.
See? But we move along because this was, oh my God, for me, this was a terrible week. All three of them meant something to me. And I'll go to the second one because Lynch being a movie buff and Herm being a movie buff and somewhat of a wrestling fan. We lost Terry Funk this week.
Yeah, we did.
And wow.
Roadhouse.
Now, if you're a wrestling fan, you saw this coming. About 2 months ago, Terry Funk put up a video and he said, guys, please stop sending me stuff in the mail to sign. I'm not doing well. I can't sign your
Basically,
stuff.
I don't have the energy or the ability to sign it. Please stop.
He knew that his time was limited. If you're a movie fan, you certainly remember Over the Top, Paradise Alley, Roadhouse being, I think, his most iconic role.
Loved him in Roadhouse, that big dumb fuck.
Let me go to his filmography because he was in so many good movies. He was in Time Stalkers, Paradise Alley, Over the Top, Time Stalkers, Roadhouse, Active Stealth, which was a straight-to-video movie. He was in Beyond the Mat as himself, Friday Night Lights as a fan uncredited in the stands. He was in The Ringer, which I forgot about.
That's right.
And
that's right. He was one of the wrestlers in The Ringer.
No, he was a fan of oh Christ, what's the name of the black kid? Jimmy.
Oh, yeah. You're right. I can see it now. There you go.
Yep. He appeared on shows such as Wild Side, Swamp Thing, Quantum Leap, The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr., Thunder in Paradise. There's a surprise. Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction, which was a great show back in the day, and of course, Dark Side of the Ring. He wrote a book some years ago. I've yet to read it. I'm kind of wanting to read it now. Just called More Than Just Hardcore, about his life story. I'll be honest with you. When I was a kid, 84, 85, about 12, 13 years old, I was scared shitless of Terry Funk.
He's a mean-looking motherfucker.
I love
scared shitless. Now, I'd seen him in the magazines.
He was just the fuck, and he was so fucking bad, but he wasn't like the craziest superstar. But like,
not then.
But you knew that Terry Funk would like. You did not want to fight Terry Funk in a dark alley, in out back of a bar, on real terms in real life. You knew that Terry Funk would kick your fucking ass. I don't care.
It's funny you say that. It's very funny you say that.
Like on a real level in a dark alley, would scare me.
Go ahead, Lynch, please.
And speaking of dark alleys, he choreographed the fight in Rocky V between Tommy Gunn and Rocky Balboa.
No shit.
Shit. The street fight there.
Yep. And he is accredited fight choreographer.
I would not want to fight.
He also, in 1984, released an album called The Great Texan.
No shit.
It was a soft rock, adult-oriented
went on a
album.
Deep dive on the Google.
Oh, I did a little research and I kept them all queued up.
I would pay.
He tickled his fucking spleen.
Only because I've heard Terry Funk promos from say 1978 till he retired for the 8th time. He's kind of like Kiss, right, but of wrestling. And to hear some of his promos, your mother's a whore. You suck eggs. You're an egg sucking dog. I would love to hear him sing. I would love to hear him sing.
You're an egg sucking dog.
What's the name of that? What's the name of that record? Lynch.
I'm going back. Sorry.
Okay.
I have to change my notes here. It was called Great Texan.
I'm looking that up on iTunes right now. I have to listen to this.
Looking it up on Tidal.
Fuck yeah.
Tidal, YouTube probably has it. I didn't deep dive that far to see where you can find it. Yeah, he was really good friends with Sylvester Stallone.
Oh yeah. Hours after he died, Stallone put up a really nice tribute.
Yeah, he was also himself in a couple of WWE games, video games. Appeared as himself. Yep. Active for a lot longer than you would think because he got out of the wrestling limelight in the early 2010s.
Well,
I think it was the last time he made like a wrestling appearance. When did he retire from his career? Wasn't it like 90 something?
Finally?
Yeah, his last retirement.
literally wasn't like till like around 2000.
And he
I
was
got
70,
you both beat.
he was
Got you both
79 years
beat.
old when he died.
Yep. So, for clarity's sake, Terry Funk retired for the first time in 1982. Okay? After,
Well,
13, 15 years in the business.
Yeah,
Came
he
back
was
2 years
410.
later. Yep, he retired again. He came to ECW. He went to WCW, went to WWE, kept retiring. They had a big blow off for him in Texas that was featured in Beyond the Mat. If you ever want to see a good movie about the inside workings of wrestling, Beyond the Mat is your movie.
It's a really good movie.
Check it out. The big blow off was in 1998. According to the Wikipedia machine, Terry Funk officially retired and had his last match in 2017.
That's what I thought. It was like in the 10s, the 2010s.
Yeah.
And he was 70 years old.
Correct.
Late 60s, early 70s, because he was 79 when he died.
In the mid 90s, when he worked with ECW and his gimmick was middle-aged and crazy, he was fun. He was fun to watch. Go back and watch Barely Legal, the first ever ECW pay-per-view. Go back and watch Return of the Funker. You know, some of these ECW shows, you don't have to be a fan of wrestling. Scoot through until you find Terry Funk and watch what he could do at 53, 54, 58 years old. Then he comes through the WWE again, takes on the Chainsaw Charlie gimmick that he created, had fun doing that. And then he goes to WCW in their dying days and did stuff with them. He just never fucking stopped. 2005. When WWE puts on their ECW One Night Stand tribute show, who's in the main event? Terry fucking Funk.
Well, he's one of those guys. Retirement killed him.
Yeah,
because he stopped. He just slowed down.
Bruce Pritchard told the story on his show this week because he was close friends with Terry Funk, and it was at the big retirement show in '98. Where he's sitting with Terry Funk and he goes, Terry, is it really over this time? He goes, hell, Pritchard, I don't know. I may come back in another 2 years. We'll find out, I guess.
See, and he's a guy I remember.
Another beer. Go ahead, Lynch, but I want to follow.
He's one of the guys from when I was actually watching wrestling in my 10s and teens. That's the name I remember. I mean, because he was out in the Hogan era. You know what I mean?
Invented Saturday Night's Main Event with Hulk in 84, 85.
So that's when I was actively watching wrestling. So as soon as I saw he died, I'm like, holy shit, I remember him. So for me, a guy who's outside of wrestling now, who just only kind of like, I'll poke my head in once in a while to take a look.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh wow, that's a wrestler I actually remember from my youth.
Before Herm gets to his point, I'm not going to tell you how many times, but these are the major championships held by Terry Funk in his 50-year career. The ECW World Heavyweight Championship, the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, the USWA Heavyweight Championship, the WWF World Tag Team Championship, the ECW Television Championship, and he's been inducted into multiple Hall of Fames, including WWE, WCW, NWA, and the Philadelphia Hardcore Hall of Fame. And I believe he's in the Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame in Waterloo, Iowa.
Probably.
Go ahead, Herm. You were going to say about Terry Funk.
Figured out what it is about Terry Funk. He had curly hair. My dad had curly hair back then.
Mm-hmm.
He had the mustache and the goatee sometimes.
Separated.
Yeah. My dad always had a beard, but I think that was the thing with Terry Funk. He reminded me of my father. He scared me.
I didn't, until he came to the WWF.
Like on that same level,
yeah, he didn't scare me because I'd seen him in the magazines and he was clean shaven and he always had a big smile on his face and he seemed like, oh, okay. That's a nice guy. He shows up in the WWF. He's got the goatee, the branding iron, the big hat, and
the vest,
I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can pull this. Yeah, and the chaps. I don't know if you could pull this video up, and you guys watch this after the fact. One of his first appearances Well, here's Terry Funk from Amarillo, Texas, in the Double Cross Ranch. He's taking off his gear. He hands it to the attendant, takes off his chaps. He hands it to the attendant. He takes off his hat. And the attendant's like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this hat? The attendant put the hat on. He beat the shit out of the attendant. Threw the opponent out of the
Nobody
ring.
wears my hat.
Yep, that was it. Nobody wears my hat, you egg-sucking dog.
Dude, I can tell you, I am out west, and you do not put another man's hat on. I don't
Nope.
care if it's ball cap, his cowboy hat. I don't care. You do not put another man's hat on. Now, you might as well just sleep with his wife. It'll be
That would be more
same-
acceptable.
It'll be the same ass whooping for a lot more fun because that you. Like yesterday when I was at the fair, I looked at some hats and he's like, "You can put them on." I'm like, "You sure?" He's like, "Yep, it's okay." I'm like, "Cause they, I don't own the hat. I just want to look at the hat and I need one hat to see if it fits. That's it. So I
Right.
know if it's nice, and I won't put another hat on my head. It's not till it's mine."
The one thing that I remember in a documentary, and I can't remember which documentary it was Ric Flair who said, Terry Funk is a man's man. And it was true.
Oh, hell yeah.
You know, there are very few guys that Ric Flair, in a business like pro wrestling where everybody's trying to outperform and outdo somebody else, there were very few that people said, this is a man's man. Harley Race is one. Bruno Sammartino, Terry Funk.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the three that stick out in my mind. But he didn't say that just because he was tough. He said, you know, if Terry told you something, that's the way it was. And it kind of gives me hope. You know, when I look at you guys and I'm like, when they say something, you can pretty much bank on it. You know, we all take care of our own, and we take care of each other.
Yeah, we keep passing the same $20 around for
pretty much for 40 years.
And he's one of those guys. He's one of those guys that when he says something, you know it's coming from the heart.
Absolutely.
And he means it for as redneck as he sounded, or as gimmicky as he may have been. When he said something, it had an impact.
If you ever get a chance on YouTube to look up the documentary Forever Hardcore about ECW from its inception in 92 till its death in 2001, people speak glowingly of Terry Funk. The WWE documentary about Terry Funk, Paul Heyman, the owner of the company, looks dead in the camera and says there'd be no ECW without Terry Funk.
No,
he had the wherewithal to build the future.
Yep, that's a true
that is
story.
some truth right there.
So, I mean, for me, everything he did in the ring, I could think back to every Terry Funk match and walk you through it moment by moment, and I'm not going to do that. But for me, seeing Terry Funk on the big screen, whether it was in Over the Top or Roadhouse or what have you, seeing that he could do something beyond the 20 by 20 squared circle, to me, it was like, you know what? I like what he did before. I like what he's doing now. To me, Terry Funk was just a jack of all trades. He did a Chevy commercial in the mid-90s for when they introduced the Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, Terry Funk here to tell you about the great deals you can get on the new Chevy Colorado.
Horrible truck for the representative.
Terrible.
Yeah, but you know what?
Truck.
Bro got paid.
That fucking 5-cylinder piece of shit they put in that.
Yeah, but bro got paid.
Oh,
bro got paid.
The payday.
Yep. Real quick, round the horn. Thoughts on Terry Funk, starting with Herm.
Loved him. He was the wrestler you love to hate. And he wore that jacket well. He didn't give a shit. One of my personal all-time favorites. Absolutely.
Right.
Great shit.
Good call.
Great
and
shit.
I can appreciate him from both the wrestling and what he did in film and stuff. I have to listen to his music tonight.
Yeah, like I haven't seen a movie that he did that
I have yet to find it where I can find the music. I found that while I was on break at lunch today.
No shit.
prepping for the show tonight. I was like, I got to remember that. So I copied and pasted and put it in my notepad. And
He
I'm
took
like,
an edible at 10 o'clock, and by lunch, he was down a Terry Funk rabbit hole.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, YouTube's dangerous. I got my wife on her YouTube rabbit
So's
hole.
meth. Be careful.
But no, I think he, again, I said it before, and you guys have said the same thing. You got what you saw with him, genuine, and he was relatable.
Mm-hmm.
He was and that's what made him. I think what made him so popular, especially during the hardcore days. You could tell he worked his ass off to promote that brand and to bring it to the level that it was. Because again, I still watched it during. I still watched. That kind of made me interested again in wrestling. Was the hardcore stuff.
The ECW stuff was fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
I mean, so God bless him. Rest in peace. Kick some cowboy ass in heaven.
Amen. And for me, wow, this is gonna go way back. You can take all the stuff in ECW. You can take everything. I don't know who said it first. I'm just going to be the most recent to say it. Terry Funk was hardcore before hardcore was cool.
Yes. Before
And
it was even a thing. Not
when
let
in
alone cool.
When in 1989 he was the first guy I saw pile drive someone through a table, which was Ric Flair. And then 3 weeks later on television, tried to smother him with a plastic bag on television.
Yes.
And the people at TBS went absolutely fucking ape shit.
You got to think about it. There would be no backyard wrestling bootleg shit if it wasn't for Terry Funk.
There's a very exclusive class of wrestlers, and it's like Terry Funk
and everybody else. Mick Foley. Oh,
Mick
dude.
Foley.
My heart went out to him this week.
It's like a very, very, very exclusive club. Like it's those two, and there's maybe another one or two possible wrestlers that go that far. But it's this. It was hardcore before hardcore was a thing.
Yep.
Let alone it was popular.
Yep. And now,
yeah,
this one's gonna hurt because I got back into the product about 7 years ago, and I immediately was drawn to this guy. His character was amazing. His work in the ring was impeccable. He's a third generation guy. Grandfather, Blackjack Mulligan. Father, Mike Rotundo / IRS. Uncle, Barry Windham.
With the high knee.
With the high knee, yep. But 2 days after Terry Funk passed away, I found out one of my favorite current guys passed away, and that was Bray Wyatt, born Wyndham Rotunda, 36 years old.
It's so sad. What happened? Do they know? What was he?
There's a lot of things that the family has put out there. Go ahead, please. I'm sorry, Lynch. Go ahead, please.
From what I understand is he had COVID.
He had gotten COVID last year sometime. Yeah, he was out for 8 months.
And then, they're trying to pin it on something related to that because COVID took such a toll on him. They're calling it a COVID-related death, but I don't believe that. I don't believe that bullshit. I just feel like, was there an underlying issue?
There was, and I'm going to get to that in a minute. So from 2010, I didn't see him when he debuted. He was under another character name. But when I got back into the product in 2014, 2015, there was Bray Wyatt. If you guys have ever seen Cape Fear, the character that De Niro played, Bray drew a lot of that. And I'm going to call him Bray for the sake of argument, for clarity purposes. Drew a lot of inspiration from that character. He's got the cult behind him. He's got, you've done something if I dress up for you as Halloween. Right. And I did Bray Wyatt a couple years ago with the hat.
Beating a child.
I didn't dress up
as a baseball player.
That's different. That was a football player, and it was fuck was his name? Can't remember now. God damn it. The Vikings guy.
Yeah, the guy
Adrian beat your son.
The guy that beat his kid.
You know you've done something right if I dress up as you
Yeah.
for Halloween.
Yeah,
I
right.
like-
As in, like
I-
you were
I-
indicted for something.
Watch a Bray Wyatt match. Watch his entrance. Watch the way the crowd reacts. He was that good. In 2022, he was fired and then brought back a couple weeks later. I don't know why he was fired. Don't care. And then he left for 8 months. He had the COVID.
That's why.
Came back, had a great run. In fact, this past January, during the Royal Rumble pay-per-view, he had the Mountain Dew pitch black match against LA Knight, who was a great wrestler himself. And he was on, he was going, and he was moving, he was having a good time, and he was scheduled to go to WrestleMania and face Brock fucking Lesnar. And then he got sick again. The things that I've heard so far, and let me go down. I have one of the things here that I wanted to read about. Wyndham Rotunda died of a heart attack while asleep at home in Claremont, Florida, at the age of 36. Reports say before his death, he'd been making positive progress toward recovery. It was revealed that the illness was COVID-19 early in 2022, which has exacerbated a pre-existing heart condition that was never diagnosed.
Okay.
He had been advised to wear a defibrillator, and a week before his death, he was hospitalized for the same heart issue. On the morning of his death, he was advised to continue wearing it, but was not using it at the time of his death.
Well, he wasn't using the device that the medical professionals told him he needed to be using. There you go. That's the reason he died. Is not following doctor's orders. That's literally what it comes down to.
I just read that along with you.
I don't mean to be.
No,
I
you're
have
not being a
no
jerk.
idea.
You're
I have
saying
no
what's
idea
true.
who this guy is. I usually like to cut right to the quick.
Bro,
He
look
was
him up.
told
The
he
entrances.
was told to do it, he didn't.
The entrances, whether it was as Bray Wyatt, the cult leader, or when they kind of twisted the character around and created the Fiend Bray Wyatt, and he was wearing the mask.
He was wearing the mask.
He's unfrozen.
Oh yeah, he's like shaved ice over here. Yeah, there it is.
Sorry, Chris, we're making fun of you.
We are. I'm gonna sit here until he comes back.
And it's not me tonight.
No,
It
he's
is
at
not
home.
me.
He's at home. He dropped right the fuck out.
Well, anyway, how much was your tattoo?
Well, the guy was pretty good. He was like it was usually like what was it? 150 for the black and white minimum, you know what I mean? Just to like bust out the needles and the equipment and whatnot, and do some just black and white work. And then it's usually another 200. It was 200, and then it's usually 200 to start, as if with any color. But he's like, it's really not a lot of fucking color, so I'll lay it in for 150. I was like, yeah. I said, tell you what, I said, let's call it 175, and it's good.
Yeah.
I said I feel that's fair. So he was like, cool, and he just went to town, and then that's it.
I just sent a message. Trying to
He'll be back.
Yeah.
Heard he'll be back. He dropped out, but yeah. So it was actually really kind of weird. Like, I stumbled across a tattoo booth at the state fair, like, and they had to have like the health department made them come in and like plastic seal the floor for in case anything because the floor is concrete.
Yeah, bloodborne pathogen.
Because it's porous, they made it sealed. Yep. I made them come in and seal the whole area with this adhesive film that was really fucking wide, you know, like 1.5 feet, 2 foot wide. But while I was laying on the bench, I looked at it and I was like, they make you guys. He's like, yeah, health department and the whole nine. Like, it was good. They had nice new rotary guns. Everything was covered in plastic bags that got changed after every customer. It was
love the
really
new-
fucking clean.
I love the new cordless guns that they're
Yeah,
using
he,
now.
he just started laying the color in, and he's like, "Yo, I gotta take a couple of minutes. I gotta charge it. I gotta charge my gun." I was like, "All right." So he laid it on the table, and he's like, "I'm gonna go grab a cigarette and plug this in because it's one of the new rotary ones."
Yeah.
So it's it's fucking silent.
Yeah, the guy that did my birds, all my birds uses those, and he swears by them because he has
He's
a
like,
light.
"I don't need a lot." He says, "I just got to go out for a cigarette real quick.
Yeah.
I got to go out for a cigarette." And
What did you do?
No, I don't know. My computer just shit the bed on me, so I'm doing this with my phone now.
heard.
It's Cell Phone Jones.
Cell
But
phone
yeah,
Jones.
it was really quiet. The rotary guns were awesome. He just
Yeah, I
pulled
love them.
fucking needles off and set them down and plugged the shader in and unplugged it and then plugged the other. It was nice
Yeah,
because
I
he used
like
a
those.
really small one for the writing. But yeah, like very quiet. Very
I
cool.
love those guns. You could barely hear them.
He came back in
anyway.
and he's like, "Yeah, it's at like 14%. That's enough to finish this one." And there was no noise like that. I'm just
Where
yeah.
were we?
Where were
You were like this.
Oh, he had the mask. He was the Fiend. He was just
There it is.
look up some Bray Wyatt stuff online. Just a fun guy to watch, and for a bigger guy, 285 pounds, a little thicker, a little chunkier, moved like a lightweight, and was always entertaining. That was the beauty of Bray Wyatt. He was always entertaining.
So he really wanted to just be Herm, you know.
Basically.
Kind
He
of,
was
yeah.
big, but he kind of moved a little. He moved a little lighter than he looked, and he liked to be the life of the party. I like this dude. I don't know shit about him, but I like him.
Check him out.
Like them already.
I'm telling you, if you
Sounds
watch
like Herm Light.
if you watch a Bray Wyatt match, you watch the entrance, you watch everything, watch a promo. He was that fucking good.
You know what's sad, Chris?
Is
You look better on your phone than you do on your computer.
really?
Yeah,
The
your
color is
screen
more
makes-
saturated.
Yeah,
The colors are more saturated. Same with me.
Hey.
This camera's good, but
mine sucks.
This camera gives me the picture I want, not the colors that I want. I gotta
Yeah,
get
I gotta get a good one.
I need
change the
something
lighting.
that gives me some good saturation for some good green screen shit.
I have a digital camera that I can plug in. I gotta find the batteries for it and get the little tripod. It's
Yeah,
a
I
really
wanna
nice
see-
camera.
What I want to do is set up my DSLR and then
That's what I have.
That's,
ASMR?
yeah, yes. I want to set my DSLR up on
I need something crinkly.
a HDMI in.
MRN what? The voice.
MRSA?
Here it is. Wait. No, MRSA is the disease where like your limbs fucking rot off.
Listen to you.
Totally different
Oh.
than ASMR. That's
You wanna-
asthma.
Speaking
It's like
of
the light. It's like the lighter, right? So it's like
speaking of rotten, you want to see something disgusting? Watch a bot fly removal video on YouTube. Oh, tripped on that one the other day by accident.
yeah,
Can we get back to the point?
I don't remember what the point was.
Bunch of twat waffles.
Oh, you look better. You look better on camera.
Can I
thank
get
you.
those with eggs and extra syrup and butter?
Yes. The other point. I'm trying to sign back on to the looks like I got my Wi-Fi back on the computer. I don't know why it jacked me over, but
I like your background with the ceiling joists and stuff. It's nice.
thank you. The joists are my favorite.
It creates a little ambiance.
It's very rustic, if you will.
Rusty dick. What?
That sounds nice.
No, that would not be me. My dick is not rusty.
Ooh,
yeah.
that sounds nice.
Good God. See, this is why we can't have nice things.
Heard fuck me running.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. I'm
It's-
looking like, looks like I'm getting back in. Give me
That's
a
his
sec.
tribal name.
Oh man, we might have him in here twice.
No, you won't, because I'm not going
'Cause
to.
I could do that. I might set up a second camera.
I'm not going to do the Jordan thing. I'm going to do this.
Well, that way when my wife comes to the corner and flashes her tits and she doesn't know I have the extra camera, you guys will get a show. Woo! We'll get ratings. Yeah, that's my wife's tits, y'all. They're delicious.
Boobies are free.
Wait, I missed the
Yay.
boobs.
No,
Yes.
no, not yet. But I'm gonna
Yeah,
hook
my
up another
boobs.
camera and make it go that way. And then the next time she comes over and flashes me, you guys will get it because it'll be on a second feed. Shush, she's coming in.
Don't say
Okay.
boobs.
Anyway,
Don't say
Oh,
boobs.
what are you laughing at me for?
because you're ignorant.
Oh, I'm a lot louder than I think. Shut up. You don't know. I might not. I don't have no camera. I don't know. You'll never. You liar. You'll know. There'll be a camera right there. I'll hide it somewhere else. That's all right.
If there's one, and the one in the bathroom, just ignore.
For real. Don't worry. I'll pipe in the live feed. It's good. The whole house has got cameras.
Yeah. You know what breaks my heart about all of this is that this is a 36-year-old man.
That's the
Eddie
sad part
Guerrero,
for me is that
another one with a
and
heart condition. Yeah,
very young.
right. Eddie
Very
Guerrero,
young.
35 years old, 38, sorry, heart condition. Brian Pillman, 35, heart condition. Owen Hart fell from the ceiling. Nothing you can do about that.
Ooh,
Chris Benoit,
Yeah,
fuck him.
say, you can't stop gravity, baby. You can't stop gravity.
It wasn't
Right,
the fall that killed him. It was that sudden
It was the
stop at
sudden
the end.
stop.
Sudden stop. I feel terrible for his ex-wife, his girlfriend, his 4 children. I feel terrible
Yes.
for anybody involved in this. And you know, again, I'm going to implore you guys, go find something on YouTube, and if you need a suggestion, DM me. What Bray Wyatt match would you want me to see? I'll send you a couple. Bray Wyatt versus The Undertaker was fantastic. Bray Wyatt versus LA Knight, not the best. Bray Wyatt, John Cena, amazing. Bray Wyatt could wrestle a broomstick and have a great match.
Ooh,
That's how good he was.
That sounds interesting.
There was someone that said years ago that Ric Flair could wrestle out of bricks and it would be a 5-star match. Bray Wyatt, I'd put him in that pantheon with
Nice.
Ric Flair, Mr. Perfect, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart. He made chicken salad out of chicken shit every time he got the chance. And it sucks because, and for me, especially being the one that semi follows the product, a 36-year-old man in fighting shape. Boy, I've seen it one too many times over the last 30 years.
Anytime kids are involved, it's a fucking tragedy. I mean, 4 kids, and he's only 36.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those kids. I mean, they had a lot of life left to grow up with that, and oof, that's a big kick in the dick.
Yes. We hear so many stories about, I'm not just going to throw athletes into this, actors or musicians or what have you that,
Entertainment personalities.
In the world of celebrity, all you hear is sex, drugs, and rock and roll. In this case, wasn't any of them.
No.
However, you have a young man, and I could run the gamut of people that have died way too young, not of their asking or doing, be it by illness or murder or what have you, accidents. Anton Yelkin, the kid that was on Star Trek, who for me most remembered from Alpha Dog.
Yep.
Parked his Jeep, went to take something out of the back, the brake let go, and he got crushed between the Jeep and a stone wall.
Yep.
28 years old.
Sad.
Bray Wyatt.
I really liked him.
I loved him in Alpha Dog. He was easily my favorite character. Wacky Zacky. Yeah.
Great movie.
When it's somebody this young, and I'm, now we've all crossed the 50-yard line.
We all old.
What's that?
We all old now.
Right. And you look
we
at
can
someone,
see retirement, and we can see a little bit of the glow.
You already know Chris ain't retiring. Chris is going to work. He's going to die.
No, I'm not. I'm going to retire and then work
not.
enough. Well, And by retire, to me, that means eventually I'm going to start collecting Social Security. I will
Gotcha.
also continue to work whatever hours I'm allowed to that doesn't fuck that up, just because I like something to do, somewhere to go, somewhere to socialize. But yeah, no, I'm not. Hopefully, I hope I drop dead in a kitchen somewhere at work. That's how I hope I go.
I hope in a couple of years I can retire to Sweden.
There you go. But yeah, when a young person dies, and it was this creative, if you want to have some fun, if you don't check out a Bray Wyatt match, look up on YouTube the Firefly Funhouse. It was Bray Wyatt's take on Pee-wee's Playhouse, but it was dark, and it just built the character. When you see him, he's in the sweater, and he's like, hey, he's Mr. Rogers. And then it would flicker, and you'd see the Fiend mask, and he's like, let me in, let me in, let me in. He knew how to promote his character. I go back, and I'll make both of you guys' eyes pop out. The last guy who I saw that could build his character this well, there's two of them, The Undertaker and Rowdy Piper, that could make you believe that everything that he was saying was gospel truth, and you had to stick around. You had to find out. This guy is crazy as I think he is.
I loved Rowdy Piper.
It's the beauty of wrestling. It's the beauty of the male soap opera. It's the beauty of letting yourself go for 3 hours on a Monday night or 2 hours on a Friday night, or nowadays the pay-per-views go for 6 days. So you tune in on Saturday, you're done in August. And, you know, and you win the Andrew the Giant Battle Royal. You know, it's the suspension of disbelief. And we touched on it a week or two ago. At no point when Herm and I were sitting in the stands, or when Lynch was sitting on his couch somewhere, did we think these guys are actually beating the shit out of each other.
No, because when you get close enough seats like we had a lot of the times, you can hear them calling moves to each other and how they wanted it to roll. Like,
well,
we
some
heard,
of the dumber ones.
you know what I mean? But you heard it. You know what I
You
mean?
heard them call a spot, yeah.
You heard them call something, and you knew. But is it entertaining? Absolutely.
Fuck
And
yeah.
I'm all about entertainment value.
And for me, and I'm gonna say this right now, in the last 10 years, there was nobody more entertaining than Bray Wyatt, and it sucks.
Yeah, very sad for the whole family aspect.
I mean, coming from the family he did, and Herm knows, because one of my favorites growing up was Barry Windham, his
Barry
uncle.
Yeah.
One of the guys that Herm and I went out of our way to villainize when we were in the stands was Bray's father, Mike Rotundo, IRS, Erwin R. Shyster. It was Mike Rotunda, just so we don't screw people up and go, he had 3 fathers? No, he had one father.
No, he had one father.
Mike Rotunda, who played the character of Erwin R. Shyster.
Erwin R. Shyster and IRS.
I'll never forget.
He was that. What was the wrestling game he was in, bro? And he had a high knee. He would come in and hit you with his knee.
The Royal Rumble, or there was the Royal Rumble video game, then there was Raw's War.
Right, and we played the hell out of it, and we always called it the Mike Rotunda Heine, like the Mike Rotunda ass. But he hit me with a Heine, and I was fucked.
Yep.
Yeah, like we that whole family has been around for quite a while.
Yep. And
Mr. Mulligan.
Blackjack, God rest his soul.
Fucking Blackjack, Mr. Mulligan, yes.
Making fake $20 bills in his basement. That's a dark side of the ring waiting to happen.
Oh, swear to God. But badass wrestler.
Bray Wyatt, one of the few guys that had 2 iconic ring entrance themes. The first one was called what was it called? Live in Fear. Great song. And then the other one was Let Me In. Probably both on YouTube. Check them out. They went with the character so well. He was just, and if you watched, not that either of you did, not that any of you out there did, if you watched last week's SmackDown, which I got a chance to watch because I recorded it, I was doing other things. The level of respect that the people inside that locker room gave him was just tremendous.
Touching.
And it was touching. It goes to show you what kind of guy he was. And
Yep.
it sucks because that's the kind of guy we're going to miss. And we need more of that. You know, we need more Bray Wyatts. We need more CM Punk. We need more CM Punk's still alive, but you know, we need more guys like that people can say nothing but good things about, like Eddie Guerrero, like Owen Hart. You know, if the world was filled with people like that, and I will point to you two guys and say people like us, you know, the world would be a better place. Say what you mean what you say. Be clear, concise, and honest.
Say it with heart and conviction.
Yeah.
All right.
On that note, I'm just going to close out with it's going to suck without Bray Wyatt, because I was looking forward to his comeback. A couple months ago, the rumor was he was going to be back in October, and that shit ain't going to happen now.
I don't think that plan's confirmed.
I'd pay money to see that now.
Right?
I think it got postponed.
But guys, do yourself a favor. Go on YouTube and just pick something Bray Wyatt out and watch. Whether it's a promo, whether it's the Firefly Funhouse, or whether it's a match. Watch how this guy did his thing, and you'd be like, God damn, we lost a good one. This one, it hasn't been since Eddie Guerrero that a death in wrestling hurt me like this. Maybe Joe Laurinaitis, but only because he was my friend. You know what I mean? When Road Warrior Animal died, that took a piece out of me. But but Joe was 60. You know, this kid was in his prime. He's 36 years old. You know, fighting shape. It's kind of like losing Reggie Lewis if you're a basketball fan, or Sean Taylor if you're a football fan.
Yeah.
Not much more I can say. And, you know, hey, Bray Wyatt, Wyndham Rotunda, this is for you.
Very nice.
Rest in peace, and my condolences to the family.
Oof. Just tell me you guys are going to check out something Bray Wyatt on the YouTube.
Yeah, I'll go check something out.
I will tonight. I don't have to work tomorrow, so I can go down some rabbit holes.
So I have an idea, because every time we think we're going to do something fun, somebody dies, or Donald Trump gets arrested, or something.
Some wacky shit happens.
I'm going to let Herm draw out of a hat. We're going to take the three of us. The next 3 weeks are going to be fun. And Herm's going to put a name in the hat. Herm, Lynch, Chris. And he's going to draw 1, 2, 3. These are the next 3 weeks. What we're going to do, and this is my idea. You guys can poo-poo on this if you want. Lynch is about 40 minutes from bed, so we have to hurry up.
I got to eat.
I ate before we came on. I was smart enough.
Me too. I came right from work basically to here.
Me too.
I want to take like an artist or a band or something that we like. Everybody loves our music episodes. And whoever gets drawn, let's say Herm draws Herm first. He goes, okay, I want you to give me the top 10 Biggie songs. We all have our top 10. He draws my name, and I say, okay, I want you to give me the top 10 Kiss albums. In your opinion, it's all opinion. And if you draw Lynch and he says Rush, he's fired, and we replace him with Jordan.
All right,
Why do you have a comb? Why do you have a comb hanging from your squirrel?
Yo, it's literally like the middle-aged Mike Manjarovic.
There you go.
Just got like a pick stuck in his head, in his afro.
Except he's not woke.
Yeah, well, yeah, well, yeah, but woke was different then. It wasn't woke.
No, you're right. He was the king of counterculture, and now he's woke.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, he wasn't Harlan. I loved
good
Harlan.
call. Harlan Wood.
That motherfucker was so smart. But
yeah,
I totally had Harlan pegged for overthrowing a small South American country. I totally did. That nigga was so smart and so anti everything. I totally had it. Yes.
Do we want to have some fun in the next couple weeks and do
Sure.
something that?
Sure do.
Sure.
All right. So Herm, you're going to give us the list sometime on Friday. Whoever you draw, they're going to come up with the top 10.
Okay.
And I am going to.
All right, so
And
I'm basically
it can be
picking
anything.
one of our three names out, and whoever
Yes.
does that,
And we're going to
then
do it the
that's
next
up.
3 weeks in that
All
order,
right.
whatever we choose. Now,
all right,
for my week, I am going to try to reach out to Joey Casada.
all right.
And if Joey can do it, if I get drawn third, I'm like, Joe, you got 3 weeks. Boom. You're coming on. Top 10, I don't know, Paul Stanley earrings. We'll make something happen. We'll have
Top
fun.
10 reasons Herm was late to work.
Oh, Jesus Christ. There's only 2 guys that can do that.
It's all right. That's all right. Everybody else can laugh.
That's true. And Lynch could make up his own list about that.
Lynch will make up his own list. The top 10 reasons Lynch.
You know,
was
that time you were fighting terrorists in the Stop and Shop.
Oh, that's a good one. That was wasn't that right after you won the Olympics in Japan in 1972?
Yes, it was. We didn't really fight terrorists at Stop and Shop. We stole the shit out from those motherfuckers.
That was
But we-
ShopRite.
Same
Fighting
thing.
terrorism.
But allegedly,
Allegedly.
we stole a bunch of shit out of there. But
Whatever you guys do out there this week, just love each other, man. Hug the ones you love. Take care of them, because as we've learned this past week with Bob Barker, Bob Backlund is still in there.
Still in there. Jesus, you're killing me. Holy Christ. Nobody told me Bob Backlund died.
No, this would be a tearful episode, man.
Oh my God.
That would suck.
Oh, Jermaine,
Don't-
get the tissues.
Right?
All right, I'm saying it right now.
Uh-huh.
If between now and next Tuesday something happens to Bob Backlund, it's all your fault.
Fuck you. Fuck
Yo, I
you.
gotta be honest.
It's
I
all
was thinking,
your
look,
fault.
you guys remember what happened with Louis Anderson, right?
See?
I
That's
spoke
what
to-
I'm saying.
I was at work. He was like, yo, I don't think Louis Anderson's going to be around much longer. Less than an hour later, the headlines were Louis Anderson dead. The guy at work was like, Herm, don't say my fucking name the rest of the day.
I'm just saying.
I'd have
Throwing
walked
it
around
out
saying
there.
his name.
Oh my God. What the
Lynch,
fuck
Lynch.
is wrong with me? What?
Lynch, if that happens, I'm burning your house down. I don't care who's inside.
Herm,
It's
don't
okay.
say
You know
my
what?
fucking
I'll
name.
do you a favor. I'll give you an hour's notice. Get you, Megan, and the animals out. I'm
Out.
burning your fucking house down.
Coming with gasoline.
That is
I'm gonna
that is some bad karma bullshit you just threw on me.
I'm gonna fast track Megan's promotion so I can move to Sweden faster.
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
Ricky Bobby.
Oh my God.
All right,
I didn't mean to say Bob Backlund. I'm sorry.
I gotta go downstairs and at least spend some time with my wife.
All right.
Tell her we love her. Guys, love each other. Be good. Next week, you'll find out who got drawn in the Big Herm Olympics for their top 10 list.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
And if it's me first, I need to know so I can get Casada on the line.
Excellent.
And you
All
while
right.
you guys are loving each other, I'm gonna love myself.
There you go. If you can't fuck with somebody, fuck yourself.
Fuck yourself. The volume's all wacky on that.
A little bit.
I know I'm high as shit right now. But that sounds fucked up.
I'm not, but it's fucked up to me.
The FBI listening.
Probably.
My teeth are chewy. I can keep hearing my hair grow.